We are live on Facebook with install now. So we're going to install the new 16.1 software on that. Here's my press passes recently published by the Observer. They have a new doodad here with this thing. Let me show you what we do with that. These guys are very clever. Okay, so you just pull down from here and you get this thing going. And if I do that, oh, how come I don't see anything? Why is that all black? There it is. What's going on? So let's go over Maryland's. Oh, right there. Pick it up. Bingo. Maryland Wilson. Observer newspaper. Permanent credentials. That's her cell phone number. Email address. And address. 101 Buzzard South, Boca Raton, Florida. Now that matches this address and phone number. So there'll be a slot in there. So, in theory, these could be strapped to a bag if you were traveling. And on the back, the airlines, at least Delta, United, and Southwest, give you flight privileges for your bags because you got camera equipment in there and audio and sound equipment, and they don't charge you. As long as you got this credential, they don't charge you. Now, American Airlines isn't quite as nice. They charge you $50 a bag. Delta, United, and Southwest, they don't charge you. So, I mean, that could be a reason.
Just told us that voters will still have 2 weeks after the debate to make up their minds, and that 2 years ago, the vast majority of ballots in Pennsylvania were cast in the final 2 weeks. David?
Rich Hudson, thank you so much for that. After ignoring the border crisis for years,
this stuff with the ballots.
Slamming Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for sending 2 planes of migrants to Martha's Vineyard. MSNBC
Vacation hold. Goddamn way.
Deeply sick and dehumanizing to fling human beings somewhere vindictively. Watching a post on this, Max Booth saying DeSantis, quote, heartlessness and cynicism is hard to exaggerate. And Keith Oberman calling the migrant flights human trafficking. Again, reading some...
Yeah, they're not here yet.
Joe Concha is here. That human trafficking, so
we're watching the storm on this one. It's the 11 a.m. advisory, number 9. 50 mile an hour sustained winds heading west, but the movement has slowed down to 14 miles per hour. That means something. Okay, let's see. You can hear Joe Concha in the background, and he's slamming the liberal media bias that's shown against DeSantis because he flew some of these, a select number of these, some of these dirtbags that are crossing into our country without being checked properly. So DeSantis sent them to Martha's Vineyard so they could float around with all the wealthy people. So they get a little bite of what's going on with with all the. Yeah, I mean, it's not fair. You got property property owners, farmers, ranchers that have that are on our border with Mexico. And the United States government is supposed to protect the borders. Well, they're not doing it. It's just wide open borders. Come on in. And then in the middle of the night, the Biden administration is shipping these people. You know, they're all, Raoul's. But they're from 140 different countries. So don't think they're just Mexicans jumping the border. They come all kinds of people. And some of them, have been released from prisons. They're not nice people, all of them. Anyway, so it's
where we are now. And we woke up to the news this morning that Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida sent 2 plane loads of migrants to Martha's Vineyard, the kids and whatnot. And I'm not saying
DeSantis sent 2 plane loads to Martha's Vineyards. And he gets on TV and says, okay, all you fancy schmancy people, here's 2 plane loads of, these marvelous people that are jumping our border. Now, some of them are nice people, but there's a percentage of them, probably, I'll just pull this out of my fanny. Let's just say 90% of the people are fine, but 60% of them aren't. Excuse me. 90% of them are probably just wonderful people you'd want as neighbors. But the 10%, are ready to slit your throat, and steal your car and steal your money and break into your house. And they don't give a crap about you. Oh, really? Law and order? No. No. Just give me your keys. So, now if they break into this place, I have an equalizer in that little case. And of course, if people started infiltrating this area, that little baby be tucked right in here. I have a what is known as a belly holster, and it's just a huge. It's about this thick, wide, and it fits around your belly, and you can just slip your gun right in there. And there's like a spot that the gun rests in, and it'll hold your gun for you. It's right up in that case, in the bookcases above me. That way. So that's the latest news. So the biggest thing I'm excited about today is, finish up on this credential stuff. FAU will have our field photo credentials and so forth for tomorrow night's football game, right? UCF, FAU in Orlando, right? UCF, yeah, Central Florida. There you go. So now this iPad is now up to date. We'll come over here. We go about 16.1 version 5045D. Bug fixes for your iPad. And this one will say, bug fixes for your iPhone. So this tells you the iPhone 12.9 inch, 5th generation. There's a serial number you can just push down here. See, it says copy. So if you're going to go, I have a web page where you can put the serial number in and see what your warranty status is. So here's the data number to the line, which is 2358777. The carrier is AT&T. And here's all your Wi-Fi addresses, Bluetooth, IMEI number, ICC ID. These two numbers is what the phone company always wants. So anyway, that just tells you that you got the thing you basically asked for.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer.
So I've got you can see 440 gigabytes of 1 terabyte is used. Do not touch enable your photos, because that converts all the JPEGs to HEIF files, and it is very annoying and difficult. It's not difficult. It's very annoying to try to convert, to go backwards from HEIF to JPEGs. There's a thing you can do, but it's obscure and annoying. So do not do that. It'll give you, see, photos is taking up this much. And this is, this is app data. This is apps. This, I think that's media. Apps is probably. So you can see the, system. So if you enable this photo optimization, this area will shrink down to that much. And this would say 250 gigabytes of space is used instead of 450 gigabytes of 1,000 gigabytes. It's amazing. And it's on a chip as your pinky fingernail. And then the other thing is the cameras, on the iPhones and the iPads. So we use 287 gigabytes for photos. 41 gigabytes for Apple TV. I must have something recorded. Netflix, 9 gigabytes. I don't know what get down to the bottom of this list. So what? Okay.
Also joining us, Kennedy, Lisa Booth, and Dr.
These aren't.
Well, we begin today with more hypocrisy from the left, this time on the crisis at our southern border.
Let's see.
A new report that the
I've had storage situation.
Litigation against
which will.
governors sending migrants to
Let's go back to this is the 9 to 5 Mac channel. So here's the new watch. This talks about the watch, but they're going to talk about the iPhone first. iPhone. launch day.
Here's White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
The migrants, including children who arrived in Martha's Vineyard, were misled about where they were being taken and what would be provided when they arrived is also deeply alarming. The children Governor Abbott abandoned in Martha's Vineyard, the children that Governor DeSantis abandoned as well,
This woman is brain dead. She has no idea what she's talking about. She's got this notebook, which she tries to read and talk at the same time, and she can't do it. And she's very bad at it, you know. She needs to be relieved of duty and get someone that knows how to, that has a memory. You got to know what you're talking about. You can't read it from, you know, it's like she's looking up, you know, in a cookbook. Oh yeah, here we are, apple pie. And then there's a bunch of punch list things to do. And she has to go to that tab and look at that before she knows what the hell she's talking about, depending on what the question is. And it's disgusting. Yeah. And the president is so full of crap. He just keeps on saying the border is closed and the Republicans are using these 2 million people are already in the country, God knows where, right? The Trudeau administration doesn't have a clue. I mean, they didn't put tags around these people's toes. You know, they didn't squirt anything in their arm. You know, so there's no paperwork on any of these people. We have no clue who they are. They literally just walk across the border. There's 2 million that we process, which means they come through, and you know, there's no health check. You know, and all the mommies in America want to send their kids to elementary school for the first time, right? Just to get into school. Your kid has to take 14 shots, not all at one time, but you know, when they go from 1 to 4 years old, you go to your pediatrician and he gives your kid some shots. Well, when you add it all up, let's just say 10 shots. You know, against the plague and the polio and all these different things. These people that are walking across the line, they can have leprosy, for God's sakes, and we wouldn't have a clue. This administration, it doesn't give a shit. So how does that figure out? It's hard to imagine what is going through the administration. You know, Biden's just doing what these guys are telling him to do. So he's like he's like an empty suit, and he goes out there and he gives the speech, and he just says what those people tell him to say, and nothing more. So that's why he can't answer any questions. He just turns his back and walks away. Trump, on the other hand, would stand in front of the press and answer questions until the last person, until everybody is asked every imaginable question that these guys could figure out. Because Trump would keep answering questions as long as the people kept on throwing questions at him. And they finally gave up, you know. If he walks out there at 10 o'clock, you know, by 10:40, the press crew just hangs their head and says, okay, we're done. And he says, okay, so get your bags and get on the plane. We're going to skedaddle out of here. So, is that amazing? Anyway, there you go. Screen protectors. Look at that. See, here you go. Here's your case. your guide to cases with a mask on, of course. There's no one anywhere near her. So she's got a mask on while she does her presentation, which is ridiculous. Oh, God. Shut up and listen to what these people are saying.
So they're passing them off to these other places. They're fulfilling their wishes. Why aren't they delighted? Exactly.
All right, well, I don't know if you can hear her. She's got a very big mouth. All right, so I think you're going to go away. Let's shut this down. And I'm going to turn this off. And I may come back on later this afternoon. But otherwise, I don't, you know what, may see you Saturday or Sunday. We're going to the game Saturday night at 7:30, so we're going to leave here at 6 and figure it'll take, with getting through the parking lines and so forth. Although we got a special purple pass into garage number 3, which I need to print. Why don't we do that so I can go to here and find the message from Katrina. There it is. And somewhere here. Uh-oh. I guess I have to go to your email.
Came from the interest collected from the Biden bucks from COVID, the funding that was going to the states. Secondly, Democrats approved this in the budget, in DeSantis' budget. So all these Florida Democrats that are criticizing DeSantis right now, they approved it. They approved what they are condemning now. So just two things that people are missing. But I think it's hilarious.
Right.
The memes on Twitter are just amazing. Everyone can check that out. And Tucker's monologue last night was amazing. Dr. Siegel, finally, fentanyl, plaguing our nation's young people. There's a bipartisan push from attorneys generals across the nation now saying to list it as a weapon of mass destruction, which would require a huge federal response, not just to be treated as a narcotic.
And I think it fits in totally with the story we're seeing here, because there's two Americas. Because Gavin Newsom doesn't care, but Governor Abbott does, and Governor Abbott has been.
That's the letter. There you go. See parking. Parking. So we're going to take this.
In Texas, we're seeing that's where the humanitarian crisis needs to be. That's where the public health emergency needs to be. Not in Martha's Vineyard in Texas. I talked to and interviewed the medical director of McAllen Hospital in Texas. It's becoming overwhelmed, and not just with COVID, by the way, Kaylee, with trauma. 750 border crossings led to death over the past year. Trauma, people being injured, flooding and crowding across the border into Texas. Absolutely on board with Governor Abbott making a point of this and Governor DeSantis making a point of this. And maybe Governor Newsom should invite some migrants to the French Laundry. What do you think?
And if you really want to show your philanthropic heart instead of handing out food in Martha's Vineyard, travel down. Go to Texas, where they are every day, our Border Patrol agents taking care of migrants. They are doing it, and they're doing it compassionately, and they are the real heroes.
Point. See it.
Sanctuary, Martha's Vineyard. Yeah.
Show me.
There
it is. We're gonna need to print my pass. We're gonna need to print that.
At New Day USA, we give veterans a VA cash-out loan with no upfront cost for an appraisal or termite inspections. No upfront cost at all. Let us get your family security of cash in the bank.
1-855-676-4725.
You know when you start up a motorcycle and you hear it go boom, boom, boom when it takes off. I was losing that. I was losing my energy. I started using Balance of Nature about a year and a half ago. Noticed the results immediately. So I went, oh my gosh, this
This is all chopped up. Let's try to.
I missed my Lava Voom. I got it back. Start your journey by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code KLG.
New Ivisia Dry Eye Drops. Made with hydrating polymers, moisturizing hyaluronic acid.
All right, so we're going to
reduce dryness, discomfort, and
guess there's no way around it.
Ivisia. We see a better way.
New projects means new project.
Let's just uncheck all these damn things.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/hire and get started today.
Time. It's life's most precious commodity, especially when you have metastatic breast cancer. When your time is threatened, it's hard to invest in your future. Until now. Kisqali is helping women live longer than ever before when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's proven to delay disease progression. Kisqali can cause
I don't like the way this looks.
heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, heat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite,
628.
bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Your future is ahead of you, so it's time to make the most of it with Kisqali. Because when you invest in yourself, everyone gets the best of you.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and now with 2 new flavors.
Letting murderers off the hook? Inside Tim's resentencing laws and how they might allow a teen killer to walk free. Jason Ray says that's shocking.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need?
I don't want this
Sell
letter.
your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry.
This thing is taking 3 freaking pages.
But we quickly realized
I
we
don't want
needed to
page
supplement
1.
our income.
Our friends sold their policy.
I don't know what else to do.
Got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I'm skeptical. So I did
I guess I'll just print it and see what happens.
that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it.
Print.
No future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000
The PDF file.
you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies. Or call 1-800-983-6200.
Do you own a vacation home? How would you like access to other luxury homes around the world without the hassle or expense of renting? Try Third Home. Third Home is the members-only home exchange club that opens your world to exquisite travel in 99 countries. Discover the secret to staying at luxury vacation homes around the world rent-free. Get the 5 perfect reasons to swap your luxury property at thirdhome.com/5reasons. For a limited time, you can join for free.
A college newspaper run by students getting a story right after many in the media got it wrong. Brigham Young University's student newspaper is exposing the lack of evidence in the racial slur saga that took the real
Okay.
liberal media by storm.
We'll see you this afternoon.
A Duke University volleyball player went public.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Gone back to serve, I heard a very strong and negative racial slur.
Media
Go Star.
claims